Welcome to the Operation Game Night podcast, back and better than ever. I'm your host, Travis Smith. Joining me, as always, is my co-chair, my co-captain, the co-owner and proprietor of Operation Game Night, Clayton Gable. How you doing, Clay?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear I've been promoted to co-owner.
Well,
I was wondering when that was going to happen.
It's worth nothing, so congratulations, I guess.
In fact, I've incurred some debt.
That's right. Yeah, you now owe me money. Today, we are talking an actually new game. We're talking Ruins from 2025 by John D. Clair, published by Allplay. Clayton, hit me with your debrief of Ruins.
Okay, so little background. I'm an Allplay fanatic. I love their small boxes, and they're almost an insta-buy for me because I just like the way they all look together. So I truly knew nothing about this game. I had seen that it existed, and we were at the World Series of Board Gaming. They really blue-balled me by not having a vendor library set up. So we had to go off-site to a little board game store. Shout out to Night and Day Games in Las Vegas. And I saw Ruins sitting there, and I picked it up. And so did Travis, because he too likes Allplay small box games. We took it back to the hotel, and boy, was I tickled when I opened this thing up. It is a John D. Clair game. So I didn't even think about this, but it is a card crafting shedding game. So we're talking games like, oh my gosh, what Scout, games where you're trying to get sets of cards out of your hand. You want to be the first one to go out. So someone leads with a pair of twos, and now I'm the next player. I have to beat that pair of twos by playing a pair of sevens. The next player plays a pair of eights until everybody passes, and then the person who played the strongest set gets to start another round. The interesting thing about this game, and there's many, is that before each round, John D. Clair, card crafting, all right? We're talking about Mystic Vale, Dead Reckoning. Like, this is a system he's kind of made his name on. I had no idea it was in Ruins, but it was so cool to see those sleeves that you could slot transparent cards into to make upgrades to this card. So at the start of a hand, everybody gets to pick one of their cards and flip it over to the night side. So, you start with cards from like 1 to 10, and on the bottom, you can see what the night side of the card is. So maybe it's like a 13. So you can just, right there at the beginning of the round, flip a card over and know you have the strongest card in the game, maybe. And then there's other upgrades on the back that'll make more sense later. But you do that at the start of the hand. So now maybe I've given myself like a triplet where I didn't have it before because I just flipped one of those cards over. And then on your turn, say you're trying to follow, Travis has a mean 3 4s he played, and I only have 2 5s. Well, there's a little market of transparent sleeves that you can spend these torches to grab. So maybe there's a sleeve over there that gives me +3 to the card I sleeve it into. So before I lay down, I can spend my torches, grab that sleeve, stick it in my card, and now, boom, I have 3 5s, and I'm still in the game. So that's pretty freaking sweet. And each hand, you get 3 torches to spend, and there's ways to relight those torches with different abilities on the cards. So you're adding these abilities to cards. I gave a basic example of just adding value to the card, but there's also symbols on the cards that will make it count as 2 cards instead of 1 card. So if I played 1 3 with the +1 card symbol, it would count as 2 3s instead of 1. And so there's just cool things like that. There's ones that make it a wild card, so you can just add this card to anything, and it adds to the strength of the set. So really interesting deciding what to buy off of that card market with the transparent sleeves. There is another twist that if you match the person before you's set exactly, so Travis played those 3 4s and I played 3 4s, I now auto past the next player. So they're out of the round. It doesn't matter. They can't play anymore sets that go around. And that's just an interesting dynamic as well. What am I missing here, Travis?
The card market has the different values ranging from 1 to 3 of your torches. And as people buy them up, all those cards slide to the right, becoming less expensive. I think this is set up incorrectly. It's most expensive when it just comes out, and then it gets cheaper as it goes along. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed that one. But regardless, the price changes as people buy these up. And so timing when you're going to pick up those clutch cards can really be a strategic advantage. We played it once. I don't know what that timing looks like for good strategy. But you do also only have 3 upgrade slots on each of these cards. So there's like ones that do special abilities. There's one that change the value. And then there's, one other position. You cannot layer multiples on top. So like deciding which card needs what boost. I'm sure that there's math behind that we did not figure it out in our one play. But the cool thing is you can claim cards. So if I get a card that has 3 upgrades, it's fully kitted out. I know that it can help my hand in the future. I invested a lot of torches in this card. When it is my turn, I can take my little claim card. So this looks like, if you're watching the video, it has my little player symbol up here in the right. It's got my color border on it. I can slot that into my card. And then in future rounds, when that card gets dealt out to any other player, if they see my player logo on it, they have to give that card to me, and they play with one less card in their hand. So, Clay, you were the only person that claimed cards in our game. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the right timing of that is.
Nor do I. Yeah. But I really liked, and I'm going to drop this on you now, but Jared and I played this a second time. The night before I left at 2 players, and he did claim some cards as well. He had one card that he tricked out all the way up to like being worth 22, which was pretty cool. And he threw his claim on there. So I don't know what warrants getting claimed, but I mean, I think if you got a card you really like, it's nice that you can ensure that you get it back. I did find it, as the game went on, it became a little harder to ascertain what my hand was when it was dealt to me. So the game's played over 4 rounds, maybe 5 if nobody has won yet.
Yeah.
And the first hand, you got your numbers in the top left corner. You can easily sort it into your sets of your 3s, your 7s, your whatevers. But as you start sleeving it up and getting these different bonuses on it, it becomes a little bit of a chore to be like, okay, I have a 3, but I have a +5 modifier down here, so I can play this as an 8. So now I have to put it with my 8s. I mean, that's a minor gripe, because overall I think this is pretty cool and it adds a lot to a standard shedding game. But yeah, the later rounds started to wear on me a little bit with trying to figure out what my cards could actually do.
Yeah. And the one thing that I really didn't pick up on when we first played, or not until multiple rounds in, was that when you get dealt your hands, the very first round, all of them are on the day side of the card. And the numbers are different on the opposite side. You might choose to flip them over, you might not. But the night side primarily has more of the bonuses associated with that side of the card. So like, if you're watching the YouTube video, there's a 7 that's on the night side. You can tell by the little moon up here in the corner. But the night side also has this flame symbol up here, which means that when I play that card, I can relight one of my torches that same round. Typically, they reset, all 3 of your torches reset between the overarching rounds. But like during that hand, I can relight that torch immediately. And so, like you said, like that was one of my complaints, is you get dealt the hand of cards, and it's really hard to like do all the math in your head.
Yeah.
And we're not bright people per se, but mental math is a challenge for us. So putting them in order and making sure you know exactly what each card is equal, or what it adds up to, is a little bit tedious. But man, it feels so good to buy those upgrades and slide them in there. And now you have a card that's worth way too much, and you got to figure out how to match something with it. Like Jared had the card that added up to 22. Previously, we had mentioned that you're trying to play sets, right? That's the primary method of getting cards out of your hand. You're going to get them out faster if you can play sets of 2 or 3 or 4 cards that all match the same value. But you can, if you have no other option, you can play that single card. And so that maybe he kept that for like kind of the trump card, or maybe he had another one.
If the worst thing that happens in this game, and this is all shedding games, I have no idea strategy in these games. Like, I want to know. So if you know what you're supposed to do in this, because it feels like you should come out swinging, throwing your big sets out there.
Yeah.
But then, like, you're the one in the lead, and if you get left with like a piddly 2 or something and throw it out, like, you may never get the lead again, and you're never going to beat anything with that 2. So I don't know the right time to do that, but I do know if you leave yourself with a 22 at the end, you're pretty much guaranteed to win, because you can't beat a set. Like, if you play a single, everybody has to play a single. You can't decide to beat it with a double, which is different than some games. I know, there's a whole host of ways to do these type of games, but in this one, you have to match the number of cards played exactly. So just getting that one powerhouse, like, you're not going to play it in a set probably, but you do have like a surefire, hey, it's the end of the round, I'm throwing out my 22. You guys can't do anything about it. Like,
and you get to the point where, like, the triples, because you work so hard to manipulate these cards to make them do certain things, the triples feel really powerful. And man, does it feel bad when you like triple 5s and then somebody's like, okay, triple 10s, and they just come right over the top and, jack up your plan. But if we're getting into like the minutia of the play sequencing, it's really interesting to me that, like, you have to play the card to buy the upgrade for it to then slot it in. It's a one-time thing. Like, I can't hang back and buy upgrades for cards that I want to keep in my hand until the very end. Like, when I buy that upgrade for it, it's out in the open. I've played it into the pile, into the, not a trick, that round.
Yeah.
And I might not see that upgrade ever again in my hand. It's out there and it's available to all unless I want to claim that card. So that's a really interesting decision to me. I'd love to see Decision Space do something about that, because it's like, man, it feels good to slide the cards in and come up with creative ways to shed your hand. But man, it feels bad to like have somebody use that card against you the next round.
I think the coolest part of the game for me, and yes, just leaving cards into it was fun in and of itself, but being able to sit there and a set gets played and you don't have what you need in your hand, but you look at the marketplace of sleeves available and you're like, ooh, I'm still in this. I can get that sleeve right there, slip it into my number 7. Now it's a 10. Now I have those triple 10s and I'm still in the round. And that's so fun, because, normally it's just like, well, I don't have what I need. I'm out. Like, and just having that market of 4 cards that maybe there's that right little ditty in there that's going to get you what you need. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm curious why they added the rule where if I matched the same number that the previous person just played, that you skip the other person. I wish it was like, the other person being the third player in a 3-player game, instead of saying like, I matched you, now you are out. Like, the previous person that just played the set of 4s and I played a set of 4s. Why wouldn't it skip the person that just got, doubled versus the following person? It just seems like a strange choice for a rule like that. I would love to hear why that rule exists.
Yeah, it is interesting. I hadn't thought about that. I don't love the rule, honestly. I don't like when you can just like take that to people like for no good reason, but it's also like a 20-minute game, so it's like, okay, whatever,
That too.
I'll come back in the next round. And these games inherently lend themselves to the fact is, as you get less cards, in your hand, your possibilities to create things goes down. So like, I mean, you get skipped, but yeah, next go around, you still have a whole slew of cards that you can, try and make stuff with while the others are, dealing with less. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's like a very interesting rule. It's kind of been like buzzing around my head the past week that since we played this game. Like, why is it that person that gets skipped and not the other? Feels bad to have your agency taken away from you in games.
yeah,
Even if it is a 20-minute game, like it feels bad to say, take that. You can't even play anything. Maybe it's like you can't buy an upgrade from the card row or whatever it is, but to just say like you're out this round just feels bad. So yeah, Ruins. We did it.
We did it.
I think
awesome.
I think it's great. I love this game.
Yeah, no, super glad I bought this out of impulse and love for those square boxes.
Yeah. Just as a side note, if you have played this game or if you are liking the show, or if you're listening to the show or watching the show or enjoying the show, please reach out to us on Instagram. Tell us you love the game. Tell us you love the show. Leave us a review on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Share the show with others. Give us a like and subscribe. However you want to support, please support the show. And thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing us some grace last week when we were coming off our World Series of Board Gaming weekend and struggling to play catch up with work and life. So thank you for giving us the grace and continuing to support Operation Game Night.
Yes, thank you.
All right. For Operation Game Night, I have been Travis. He has been Clay. This has been Ruins by All Play, and we're out.